out. This is wonderful. This is, it's a lot of people in a place, and I usually work smaller places. So this is all new for me. You guys are so low. I'm too up high. That's the main issue. It's going to be weird when I'm back there, and you're like, he's not that tall. I'll tell you right now, 5'9", and maybe less, but that's what it says on my driver's license, but they didn't measure, all right? And they're like, how tall? I'm like, 5'9", and they're like, sure. And we went with that. But this is wonderful. I love it. This is my first time here at the Oriental Theater. They recently remodeled, obviously. The owner mentioned that to me. He's like, we just remodeled. It's like, oh, all right. Well, wow. I'm into it. All right. It's my first time, so I don't have what to compare it to, you know? But I love it. I like it. I like this old feel. I like those windows, like those old boots. Like I wish I had more of a production, you know? Like I wish I had a punchline, and I had like a punchline about like an eagle, and then like a Muppet eagle would come out. And you're like, oh, the show was so interactive. That's the weird thing about like I think my comedy belongs in a small venue because like hey, small, you're and I'm like, and then, but this is too big. I feel like there needs to be more. It's just me, you know. I need fireworks or like dancers in the back, just kind of dancing to no music, just my comedy. But I like it. We're gonna figure it out. Next year, I'm bringing puppets, and it's gonna be a whole ensemble. Thank you guys for coming out. I know a lot of people couldn't make it because of the snow, and then they were like, "Is the show canceled? Is it? Are we doing it?" And I'm like, "I'm here," you know. That's the other weird part of doing this. Like, I have to realize that I'm in charge. I don't know that, you know? Like, last night, I've posted all day. I'm like, oh, I'm going to Denver tomorrow. Shows are sold out. Super pumped. And then people are like, there's a huge snowstorm. I was just reading the comments. People were showing me. Some guy put, like, screenshots of just every major road headed to Denver, and it was all red and closed. And I'm like, that's not good. I don't live in Denver. I'm assuming one of those is from the airport. None of that's good. And Google doesn't help. You Google, can I fly into Denver tomorrow? And they're like, your flight's still going. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean it's good. You know, like I got to the airport this morning and my wife's Emma's like, is it happening? And I'm like, yeah, I guess we're getting on. We'll see if we land, you know? We'll see when we get to that last part and they're like, we're going to Salt Lake now. That's where we're going. And then I was supposed to rent a car, and then I looked out the window of the plane, and I'm like, I'm not driving in that. Because I grew up in San Diego, I don't drive in snow. If this was San Diego, we would cancel it for the rain. Like, that's where I grew up. That's that's why people were like, is the show happening? And I'm like, am I in charge? And they're like, you're in charge. And I'm like, I shouldn't be in charge. That's how I do it. Like, if there's bad weather, I'll just keep going until transportation says I can't go anymore. That's my mentality. I'm like, well, I'll go to the airport, we'll see what happens. Oh my God, we landed. All right. Well, guess I'll get an Uber. Whoa. I guess this is happening. All right. Like, there's not some magical team, you know? There's like weather metadata people going, oh yeah, there's frost coming in. No, there's none of that. I'm surprised I'm alive. Because I remember one time I did a show in Oregon, in Florence, Oregon, which is on the coast, and it was just regular weather. It was like raining a little. And then my next show was in Bend, Oregon, which is up in the mountain. It's a mountain. You have to go up a mountain. I didn't know that. And I just get in a rented Nissan Versa. Not a good car, by the way. That's a car for good weather. That's not for anything. That's not even even if it was just good weather but uphill, still not a good car. But it was a rented Nissan Versa, and I had a 4-hour drive up to Bend, Oregon. I think it was 4 hours. And it slowly started to snow. And then there were signs that says, make sure you have chains if you're headed that way. And I'm like, I'm certain I don't have that. But I treated it like I treated this. I'm like, well, let's just see how far we can get. And then I just kept going. And then more snow and more signs like, we're serious. Like, you should have chains. And I'm like, still don't have chains. And then there was less and less cars on the road. And I'm like, oh, we're really getting in there now. And then I looked and I lost cell service. And I'm like, oh, we can't even call anybody. And I looked down, I'm wearing board shorts. I'm wearing board shorts because I'm a loser from San Diego. That's just like, it's probably fine. And this was around the time, this is how long ago that story was. Remember that Malaysian airline that just disappeared? This was like a month after that. And I'm like, I'm gonna be that airline. I'm gonna like hit some ice and then off and do it. They're not gonna find me till the spring. You know, it's gonna thaw out. They're like, oh, there he is right there. I remember I rented that car on my mom's credit card too. I'm really glad I made it for her sake. I don't know if her Visa would have swung a Nissan Versa. But that's how much planning goes into all of this. It's not that much. I just keep going until they're like, hey, I guess we're doing the show. That happened over 10 years ago, but I'm still that same mentality. I'm like, oh, we'll see when we get there. You know? Like, I had a rental car set up for me when I landed in Denver, and then we landed, I looked out the window of the plane, I'm like, I'm not driving in any of that. I'm not ready to learn. That's not how I'm ready to learn. So I got an Uber, and I thought about getting an Uber XXL Black. Like, I was like, I wanted the biggest, safest. I was like, I'll get the Escalade with like the tank wheels in the back or something. That's what I was hoping for. I want the safest thing. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't care what it costs. It's about my safety. I don't want to die out here. And then I looked it up, and it was $180. And I'm like, all right, well, what else is there? That's how I ranked like, I thought my life had value to me until I was like, well, 108, come on now. What have I really done with my life? Let's calm down. And I scrolled to just a regular Uber XL, and I was like, that'll be good. And I got a Toyota Highlander, which is a good car. And I was hoping the driver would just be a mountain man, you know, just coming out, just covered in big birds coming out of his beard. Just like, I was born in the snow. I was raised by wolves, dude. I'm only good at driving in the snow. It's when it's dry that I get bad. And that is not the driver I got. I got a driver who's like, I just moved to Denver. And I'm like, oh God. And then he pulls away, he's like, snow. Ooh. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I should have just taken a shot at it. Yeah, that's how I treat everything, you know. I should be more adult and be like, oh, is this planned? Is that ready? And I'm, not at all. Not at all. Even on a week like this was a crazy, crazy week. Like, it was a wild week. I went to the dentist, you know? And I wore shorts to the dentist again. It's a mistake I've made in the past, and I've done it. You ever do that? You ever like, oh, it's hot in New York this week. It was like 75, and I'm like, oh, I'll wear shorts. And then I've done it so many times where I end up at the dentist, and then you're in that weird seat, and you're just facing your bare knees and thighs, and you're like, you look around, and you're like, I think this is disrespectful to the dentist. That guy comes in fully clothed, he's got a lab jacket on, his assistant's all dressed up in a smock, and they got all this equipment. They put a vest on me so they can x-ray, and then just like my little leg hairs are just in the breeze of the air conditioning, just kind of dancing around. And I'm like, why'd you wear shorts? But I want to be a tougher guy. I was watching a Liam Neeson movie, and I haven't watched all of them, but I watched the one on the plane. It's called Nonstop. Have you watched that? It's By the way, I'm bringing up a movie that is not new. I believe this movie came out in 2014, but we watched it on Wednesday. But he's an air marshal on a plane, and then there's like a terrorist on the plane. And the movie should be called Liam Neeson Won't Take His Seat, because he will not. Everyone's begging him, please sit down, Liam Neeson. And he's like, I must protect this plane. And I don't know if they intended to make the movie this way, but he made the situation worse. Like, the first guy died, and he's like, I'm gonna protect everyone on this plane. And they're like, will you please sit down? And then another guy died. And then there was a mutiny against him, and he was like, I promise everyone will have free international flights. And I'm like, that's a lie. But I want to be a Liam Neeson. Just kind of, you make the situation. I want to be like an 80s action movie cop where, like, you saved the girl, but the town is burned to the ground. And you're like, I got the cat out of the tree. Yeah, but Nana's dead. And you're like, well, should have been holding on to the cat. I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I'm into those movies. Like, I recently got it. I don't know what this movie was. I've been watching I'm on my second John Wick movie because I fly a lot. Delta's like, you want to watch these. And so I watched the first one, and I'm like, yeah. And the second one. And now it's the second one. And I'm like, eventually you got to go to therapy. Like, the first one made sense. His wife passed away, he's a widow, they stole his dog, they killed his dog, stole his car. Yeah, you're gonna kill some people, I get that. I don't think there's a court that would prosecute that. That's perfectly fine. But the second, and then they made 4? Come on, buddy. That's my favorite move, is this one. I like, and then this guy goes flying. Because I was on a flight and I had to grab my luggage off this way because these people wouldn't let me in. And I pulled it off this way and my shoulder still hurts. And that was what, a 30-pound bag at the most? Old ass Keanu Reeves. I should stop doing the example. Even the example hurts. We went to Amsterdam, that's what we did. I had never been out there. Anyone been to Amsterdam? Clap it up, people. Denver feels like an Amsterdam-y type of trip. That's why I like Denver. Denver, like, all the people, like, my age and younger, everyone in this town feels like you always have something else going on. Like, even coming into this venue, everyone that worked here was like, hey, I do the sound, but, I got something else to get to. And they're all helpful. They're very good at their jobs, but even the lady that worked at my hotel, she's like, yeah, I'll get you checked in. And then she just looks like she's busy with a side project. Like, she's making cookies in the back that she's selling at the fair, Like, everyone looks like they got something else going on, which I like. Because I know Amsterdam, that's where people go after college. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to backpack through Europe. And I'm doing everything later, so I'm not as fun. People are like, oh, did you go do this and that? No, we didn't do any. We drank wine on a bench. We stared at a canal. That was my favorite part of the entire trip. I was drinking wine out of a bottle with my wife while we stared at a canal. My joy is pretty much what's portrayed in a painting. Like, you go to a museum and you just see some guy looking at a pond, and I'm like, that looks like a hell of an afternoon. That's where my level of not fun is. But yeah, we had a great time in Amsterdam. Everyone's tall and beautiful. Good Lord, it makes no sense. Everyone's 6'5", gorgeous, on bikes. Everyone's on a bike, just no helmets. Everyone's got all their teeth. It just looks like it should be a disaster. And there's never just bring, just zipping by, so many bikes. Everyone's tall, but all the ceilings are low and staircases are narrow. And the shoes are made of wood. Like, it doesn't look like these tall people were from there. Do you know what I mean? It looks like it was a town built by gnomes, and then giants came by and went, get out of here, you damn gnomes. This is our house now. But the stairs are too small. It's weird. Amsterdam's a weird place because it's a lot of like prostitution's legal there. They have drugs and all that sort of stuff. But then the Anne Frank Museum is there, so it's like a weird juxtaposition. So we went to the Anne Frank house, and honestly, not a good museum. Not her story. Her story is amazing. The museum. I'm a museum fan, and her museum sucks. All right, it's a disgrace to Anne Frank and what her and her family went through. That should be a better, and it's not. It's her house, and they let too many people in, and so now you're just with all these people, and you're trying to. It just feels like you're at a crowded open house. That's what it feels like. Everyone's just walking around like, oh, that's where and I'm like, this should be a better museum. I'm a museum fan. I love going to museums. I like to look. I stare. And then I'm like, yeah, I want to be in that pond, that I see. Like, we went to the Van Gogh Museum. It was beautiful. A lot of room. They didn't let too many people in. You could enjoy the art. And then someone would come in, take a photo of the art, which I never understood. Like, someone took a selfie with the art. And I'm like, get your greasy face out of that masterpiece. Isn't that like the next level of like being so into yourself? You just see a Van Gogh painting or anyone else, Rembrandt, whoever, and then you're like, man, that's beautiful. And you're like, what are you doing? Get your greasy face out of that photo. It's disrespectful. It's like me wearing shorts to the dentist. That's not okay. We all need to be better. Yeah, enjoyed. Had a good time in Amsterdam. We're moving back to San Diego. That's what we're doing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. 3 people that were like, I don't care where you live, but that's fine. Thank you for telling us. I appreciate you clapping. Did you feel peer pressured into that? You're like, no, I'm part of his life. Oh, thank you for being happy for me. What a sweet man you are. I appreciate that. We're moving back. My wife hates New York, and I like it, and we're moving back because that's how that works. She's like, you hate New York too, and I'm like, no, I don't. I like it a lot. And she goes, well, like she feels so guilty that we're moving back to San Diego because she doesn't like New York. But I'm like, I'm on the road all the time anyway. So I'm like, I'm keeping you prisoner in a city you hate while I'm going off to see if the show in Denver is going to happen or not. And then you're still there, So I'm like, no, this is fair. We're going to go back. But she wants to make herself feel better. So she's like, but you hate New York. And I'm like, I don't. And she's like, but you do. So she tries to point out times that I'm unhappy, which everyone's unhappy in whatever city you live at any moment. Anytime, anyway. Like that's just how it works. Like we were walking down the street and there was like a guy in front of us, and everyone in New York walks quickly because everyone's miserable. The town is misery keeps things moving. Like angry people are like, oh, let's get the hell out of here. You keep a steady pace. But have you ever been stuck behind someone in bliss? That's where we were at. We were stuck behind a guy. I guess he talked to his crush that day or something. And he was just floating, and he was taking up the sidewalk, and I'm behind him like, dude, get sad or move over, And my wife was like, see, you hate it. And I'm like, no, that's not enough reason. So, we're moving back. We're going to get a car again. I haven't owned a car in the short time we've lived in New York, which is nice. So now we're trying to share a car. Have you ever tried to buy a car with your spouse that it's for both of you? It's like, I've never realized it, but that's like going to the mall and trying to share a pair of jeans. It's like, well, we got to get a pair where both of our butts look good in them, otherwise it's not gonna happen. We just want different things. I want like a Toyota 4Runner, and she wants like an Audi something, Q something. But we're going to compromise, which means we're just going to be sad in a Mazda. That's what a compromise. That should be a Mazda car commercial. It's just a couple sitting there like... I wanted a 4Runner, she wanted an Audi. Zoom, zoom. I guess. Here we go to a Panera and call it a night, We live to live. Like last night after the show, we went to a bar down the street called Gem. I don't know if some people just made noises over there. Have you been to Gem? Spelled not G-E-M, J-E-M. Just to let you know, they picked a word off of Google. Have you been to that bar? Listen, yes, but also I loved it. Like, it's a bar, but you can tell selling alcohol is not their main point of income. Like, when we showed up, we confused the hell out of them. They're like, oh, what do you want? And we're like, I don't know, alcohol? And they're like, yeah, I guess we sell that. They were so confused, like sketchy people coming in the back door, they'd see us, and they're like, oh, and then they'd leave. And I'm like, what are they, selling passports in the back? What are they doing back there? It was great, man. We blew that bartender's mind. I don't think that guy's ever made a drink in his life. Like, I bought a beer. I got a bottle of beer, and you can point at it on the wall. And they don't have a cooler. They have a straight-up refrigerator, like from a house. Like a magnet, kid's report card on the front, refrigerator from the house. And they opened it up and like, here you go. And I was like, never seen that. I like that. And then my wife's friend, she ordered, I don't know why, but she ordered a tequila and soda. And he's like a drink? He was confused at the order. And she's like, yeah, like a drink. So he pulled out a shot glass, filled it with tequila, and went. And she's like, no, like in a drink. And he's like, in a drink? Yeah. And then so he got a bigger glass, poured the shot into the bigger glass. And she's like, but there's needs more things. And he's like, what, do you need ice? And she's like, yes, I need ice. And he left. There wasn't ice in the area. He went out back. I think I heard the car start. And he left. I'm not making this up. He came back with a bucket like from a hotel. You know those plastic buckets in your room? He came back and he had tongs and he put ice in there. And then he's like, he had a can of club soda. It wasn't like with the gun. It was he's like, and then he poured a little. He's like, more? And she's like, yeah. And he poured a little more. And he's like, how much? He's like, to the top, dude. This one drink took like 9.5 minutes to make. And we're all just standing there watching him. And he looked nervous, like we're cops or something. And he's like, oh, God. Just gonna know about the chinchillas we're selling in the back. And then he pushed the drink over. And the lady goes, she looks at us, she goes, I'm scared to ask for a straw. Because I don't think he's gonna know what that is. But we had a great time over at the gym, dude. That was weird. People came in, they saw us, and they're like, whoa. They looked at my wife and my wife's friend, and it's like, oh, these are some classy ladies in here. Like, these people haven't seen women in so long. I don't know who these were. These people were like from a Bukowski poem or something. It was cool. It was cool. And you're not going to get that by going to a nice bar. That's why I like going to... That's where you get a story, all right? You go to a nice bar, what's the story? Oh, I ordered a cocktail and it came out really nice. And the guy went, shaka, 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 shaka. And then they had maraschino cherries and I thought it was really good, so I asked for a second one. And he gave me the second maraschino cherry. That's not a story, that's a boring story. Instead, we went to a business that's clearly a front for something illegal. And we hung out there for way longer than they wish we would have hung out. And we had a great time. That's how stories are made. Go to shady places, all right? Also be careful. You might... I don't recommend you go there by yourself. Go with a group. Go with enough that they're like, well, we can't kill them all. And then you'll make it out, and you'll have a good story to tell the next time you're at a thing, you know. But I like Toronto. I like what you guys do here. It's a good group. Everyone's so happy. Like it seems. I don't know. You guys are probably like, we live here. We could tell you a different story, but from an outsider standpoint, from someone who's visiting. It looks beautiful. I love it. I love it. We walked around downtown. You guys got a children's hospital. Very just a blunt name. I love it. Like, I don't know how you guys, if other cities, I don't know if you guys know, but other cities have children's hospitals too, and they call them something like, oh, St. Jude's Children's Hospital, or something Children's Hospital, and you guys are like, sick kids. That must have been the quickest meeting in history. What are we naming the children? Sick kids! Meeting adjourned. Let's get on with it. No nuance. In front of the building just says sick kids, and there's like a kid in a wheelchair. And you're like, all right, we know what's going on in there. It's like they were trying to make sure that it didn't look like a front for something else. They're like, look, we're not trying to be like Jim down the street. This is what we're doing in here. We're helping these children. Oh, the excitement. What's up, everybody? Yes, you could be happier, but all right, that's one person that was sad. I like it. No, don't change. Don't clap now. You hold that tight. That's always fun. I like one person that's in their head like, oh, no, that's not a good parking spot that I got. I'm definitely getting towed by the time I'm out of here. Ah. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming out. Yeah, we're here. Beautiful. I love this. I like, it's so nice. I'm so pumped. We packed out all these shows. And then before I came, we sold out 4 of them, so we added a Thursday. And I was like, oh my God, am I Matt Wright for something? And then I came in. I was like, this is amazing. And then I saw how small the room was. I'm like, all right, well, it's still pretty cool. All right. Doesn't have to be the Rogers Center or whatever. And there's still seats missing. All right, people didn't make. I wasn't kidding about parking then. All right, there's people looping around going, it's already happening. But it was a good day. I've never been to this part of Toronto. I don't know what this section, Danforth, I guess is the name of the neighborhood. Never come out to this area. My in-laws, my wife's family, they live up in Richmond Hill, which is suburbs. And is that a wow? Is that... I mean, it's cool. I didn't expect you were like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, it is a wow. It's good up there. They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of houses with addresses, with the entire address spelled out. That's a real big movement. I love that. Like, people think that's classy. You're like, oh yeah, spell it out. Spell it out. I don't want 1-4. I want it to say 14, all squiggly. Let's make these Uber Eats drivers work for it. What do you say? Let's test their reading skills. What's that? You're from another country delivering me a sandwich? Can you read 14? You might never know if this is the right home. It is a big deal over there. But yeah. So I'm up there, and but I like the city part. The city part's so cool, and it just feels like a movie set. The entire thing. There's so many different people. It's like cast by Netflix or something. It's like one of everybody. It's just so diverse. Look around this audience. There's one of everybody living in harmony in Canada. This is like what they taught us in kindergarten. It doesn't matter what race or creed or gender or height or whatever. Like, height's probably one of them, right? You ever see someone come in too tall and you're like, not him. Not him. He makes me feel bad about me. Get out of here, you tall one. But I like it. It feels, it feels safe. Even when it looks sketchy, it ends up being safe. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it feels like out there. Like on the Uber ride, we went through a lot of neighborhoods, and it was like, oh, this is nice, and you're like, oh, there's like sleepy, itchy people at some of them. And then there was like an alley where I'm like, I don't know about that alley, and then like a nun would walk out of the alley, and I'm like, That's a pretty safe valley, I think. Just got blessed by a nun in there. There's a little bit of everybody, but it's nice. So yeah, I'm up there in Richmond Hill hanging out with my in-laws. I have a Persian wife, so I have a Persian in-laws, which is very nice. Yeah, it's very nice. I can't learn Farsi to save my life. I can't, and they're so disappointed. I've visited like 20 times at this point, and they're like, "You still don't know?" And I'm like, "I don't know how to say that." It's Haklibla, and I'm like, "It's Dukh." They have this thing. It's called it's salt milk. I don't know how else to describe it. Imagine if they took milk and just poured a half gallon of salt in there, and then you drink it, and then they heckle you for making the face that you made for drinking that salt milk. And I'm like, "What is this?" It's milk. And I'm like, "That's what it made me do." Is what that sounded like. But I like learning. We were learning all the phrases and stuff. It's fun when you get to learn the direct translations of things, like because it's like a poetic language. Farsi is, and so we were looking at this thing like to say "shut up," like you wanted to tell someone "shut up." What you're actually saying, literally, is poison of a snake. That's what you're saying. So you're bringing a poison of a snake. And you're like, "Oh, was I talking too much? I apologize." And I'm like, "That's so cool." So I haven't been able to learn how to say that in Farsi, but I've just been saying poison of a snake. And then people get what I'm trying to say. And also to say something sweet like "I love you," the direct translation to "I love you" is I'll eat your liver. That's the direct translation. I think the first person in Iran to profess love might have been a serial killer. I'll eat your liver. Oh, you're so sweet. Why the liver? You know, there's so many other organs that are better. And you're like, "The liver cleans the blood. I'll eat that. Nom 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 nom." Ew. Wow, you know. Also, how do you like the tone in which you say that is so important? I'll eat your liver. I'll eat your liver. You know, like no one else is gonna do it. I guess I'll do it. You look lonely. I'll eat that liver. Give me that liver. I'll nom 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 nom. It's so bizarre. But I just pictured like a movie scene where like two people from different countries, like one person is from Iran, speaks Farsi, and the other person from somewhere else, but they don't speak each other's language, so they have to Google Translate to talk. And then they get really close, and then finally the person's like, "I love you," and then the other person's like, "You'll eat my liver?" And they're like, "Mm-hmm." I think that would be such a beautiful scene, I think. But yeah, very much enjoy Toronto. It's good we came in. I like it. They just let you in to this country. There should be more questions. Quite honestly, they let us in. We came in with 3 boxes. I checked 3 boxes. My wife brought a business that she no longer does and was giving it to her sister. And we had 3 giant boxes. And they weren't new boxes. All right, these looked suspicious. All right. They were falling apart. We duct taped I was embarrassed to bring them to the airport. That's how bad these boxes look. We went through Delta Sky Priority, and I'm like, "Yes, I'd like to check these trash boxes." And I'm like, "They're gonna have questions when we land at the other one. Like, there's no way we're gonna bring by 3 boxes that look like they should be ticking. And they look like it's so nefarious. Like, and they just, not even a question. They just went, "Oh, welcome to Canada." And I'm like, "No, dude. Ask anything about these boxes." I'm nervous, even though I know there's nothing in there. I like the way you guys run it, though. Because I get so nervous when I go through your guys' customs, even though they never ask me anything, but I feel like I'm going to give something up. And especially when I'm coming for 2 reasons. Because I'm coming here to work, which I'm supposed to declare,
and I'm coming here to also see family. And then on the computer, they have you come in, there's like a screen, and they're like, are you coming here for work or business? And I wanted to do, both, kinda. And then I just hit family, and I'm like, he's gonna know. And then I wasn't ready for the photo because it just came up and flashed, and I went, huh? And so now I'm handing him a readout of me going, huh? And then with a lie on there, or a half-truth of like, I'm coming to see family and picking up a check at the comedy bar. And so I get all nervous. Because the first time I came to Canada, it wasn't on this side, it was on the Vancouver side, and we drove across. And that guy looked me up. He was on my website. He was on my comedy website, asking me questions that would only be on my website. And I was like, "Are you on my website?" He's like, I don't have to tell you that." And I was like, it was so bizarre. It was weird because that one we weren't telling. My buddy Ed, who drove me across, was like, "You're just coming to hang out at my house. Don't tell him about the show because you're supposed to." And by the way, I wasn't getting paid a lot for this show. I was performing in Kamloops at a 6-pin bowling alley. They have less. I don't know if you've heard of this. They have bowling alleys with less pins and a smaller ball. And I guess it's easier to play drunk. I don't know what it is. And apparently that wasn't enough entertainment for this venue, so off to the side, they're like, why don't we bring in a comedian from San Diego? Just have him drive across the border. It'll be fine. And so I flew into Seattle, got picked up and smuggled across. And that guy was nosy, dude. He was on my website, and then he was like, so where are you going to stay in Vancouver? I'm like, I'm staying with my friend Ed. He's like, oh, that's your friend? And I'm like, yeah, that's my friend. Where'd you guys meet? I'm like, we met in Las Vegas. And he's like, oh, so you're going to his house? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, does he sometimes go to your house? And I'm like, I mean, not yet, but depending on how this goes, I don't know. It was like he just kept going. To the point where I wanted to go, hey, listen, man, I'm not gay. Like, there isn't anything between me and Ed. Ed and I are cool. I'm going to sleep on his couch. Do you guys not have friends? Like, what are we doing right now? Because he was on my website. I purposely didn't put my show at the bowling alley on my website. But he was like, oh, so you were in Las Vegas last week? And I was like, are you on my website? I don't have to tell you. So that guy was all serious, and then here I am, many years later, going through your airport with 3 very shady-looking boxes. I'm like, come on in. It's wonderful. But yeah, it's been good. It's nice to hang out with a family. It's nice. There's so many people in the house, and you can I'm not comfortable. And they're all sweet. They're all nice. They couldn't be more hospitable, but I'm one of those people where I grew up alone. So anytime there's like one other person in the room, I'm like, all right. Like the whole time, it doesn't come, do you know what I mean? Like the whole time, I'm like, whoo, Like we came down, we got a hotel down here, and when we got into the room, I'm like, finally. I just took my pants off and just, And my wife's like, what is it? That wasn't comfortable up there? I'm like, no, they're just around. Everyone. I grew up in a small family household. There's 2 people. One of them would leave. The house is yours. But this one, everyone just meanders around. Watermelon. And you're like, yeah, I guess. And then you just eat watermelon. And they're so sweet. It's how normal families. It's what I used to watch on TV growing up alone. All right? It was a family in a living room going, just jabbing each other, having, and I'm like, oh, that looks sweet. And now I'm in it, I'm like, oh no. Where are the cue cards? I don't know my lines. How do I interact in this situation? It's so uncomfortable. I've learned that a lot about myself, because I have anxiety, and it's a lot of people have it. Mine's not that bad. It's just I didn't notice it. I'm mad that I know that I have it now. There's a lie that's being told in the mental health community that says once you realize your problems, you can work towards getting it better. No, now I just notice it more. and I'm fully aware. I'm out of my body watching myself be uncomfortable now in line to get coffee. Thank you. Instead of just before times where I would be like, everyone hates this. You know? Everyone's going through torment in their mind right now. But no, now I'm watching myself going, don't wring your hands. People can see that. Don't do that. So now I'm like, should I put them here? And now I'm like... And now I'm asking me, watching myself, I'm like, is this how people stand? I have my lines in my head. I'm ready to, I'm ready to roll. If I go to Starbucks, I practice my order in my head before I get up there because I never want to get, because if I'm not ready, I'll just yell whatever like, oh, London fog! And then I find out that's tea. It's not even coffee. Throw that away, go to another coffee shop and try it. No, if I'm in line at a Starbucks, I'm just there like, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream, cold brew. And that's just the little tape that plays in my brain, and then I get a little closer. Bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream, cold brew. Bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream, cold brew. And then finally, hi sir, what can I help you? I'll have a bacon, egg, and Gouda sandwich and a sweet cream, cold brew. But if they're like, we're out of all of that. London fog, yeah. Thank you. Some weirdos connected with that. Hell yeah. We're all uncomfortable. No, I love coming to Toronto. My wife's family is from here. They live up in Richmond Hill, so I hang out. I've been hanging out there all weekend. A big family. Everyone's just around all the time, and it is so stressful. Because I didn't grow up in a full house. I grew up in a small family. It's just my mom and I for so many years, and she'd leave, and the house is to myself. That's what I'm comfortable with. Just nobody around. But I would watch it on TV, like, the sitcoms with like 1,000 family members, and everyone's like da-da-da, da-da-da, and it looked amazing to watch from an alone household, but then I'm in it, and I'm like, where are my cue cards? Like, I don't know what my lines are. And so I'm just there like, da-da-da, and they're like, what? It's fun. Like, and Persian household, so hospitable. Everyone's just walking around. You're sitting there, no one asked for anything, and they're just like, watermelon? Here you go. And you're like, I didn't ask for watermelon, but here we are. There's just fruits and nuts. Everything's on a conveyor belt just coming around. It's always tea time at a Persian household. They got tea, they got nabat, which is homemade sugar. It looks like meth. It does. It looks like crystal. It's like what Walter White worked on. Yeah. And they're like, this will cure whatever you got. And I'm like, I don't think it's anything's wrong. They're like, but you're about to feel better. And then they put that sugar in there, and I'm like, nabat! Like, I'm all into it. I wish I knew more about that culture too, like, cause they try to teach me Farsi, and I'm not picking it up. It's hard, dude. I don't know, like, it's like, oh, you haven't learned Hakti? And I'm like, no, I haven't learned that word. And they're like, what's wrong with you? That's what we say. And so, like, today we've been learning extra. I learned all these phrases, but the direct translation of the phrases, which is what makes language so fun. Like, I learned, shut up, how to say shut up. But I learned that shut up means poison of a snake. That's what so if you tell someone to shut up, you're like, poison of a snake. It means so much more than shut up, right? You're like, this could be the last time you speak. It's such a I love it. So I don't know how to say it in Farsi, but I've just been going, poison of a snake. You know what I mean. That's Zahrahman. Yes. Zahrahman. And the direct translation is poison of a snake. Yes. And it got worse than I learned I love you, which means the direct translation is, I'll eat your liver. That's how you say I love you. Yeah, right? All right, I'm glad you're here. You're like, he's not lying. That is how we profess our love to people. And I'm like, good Lord. And they're like, right? And I'm like, it shouldn't be. I'll eat your liver. Like, the first person to profess their love in Farsi was a serial killer. I'll eat your liver. That's how much I love you. Oh, man. It's a passionate language. Everything's all or nothing. I don't know if there's a word in Farsi for Like, it's either, I'll love you till the death of the sun, or I'll hate you with the power of the sun. The sun's involved, I think, a lot. Yeah, I'll eat your liver, which is there's so many different ways to say that. I'll eat your liver. I'll eat your liver. Just like I'll love you, you know? No one's, right on your little liver. I'll get right on that. I just imagine like a movie scene where like someone who's Persian is like dating someone from like another country, but neither of them speak each other's language, so they have to do like Google Translate, you know? And they just get the direct translate, and the guy's like, I love you, and they're like, I'll eat your liver, you know, like just having that moment, and then watching the breakup, you know. But it's a rom-com, so they'll come back around after they run into each other on a Ferris wheel or something. You know how rom-coms work. But it is nice. It's like it's very Netflix casty, you know, where like there's one of everybody. You know? You ever watch an old movie and you're like, oh. I've been going through old movies because I don't like a lot of new movies. Not for the casting, by the way. That's not. I just hate the casting. It's just like, really? How did these two meet? No, that's not. It's not the casting. My issue with new movies is the dialogue. No one talks like that, or at least I haven't met people that talk that way. In the new movies, people just like in comedies, two characters will just stand in front of each other and trade punchlines. And you're like, who talks? I've been alive for 37 years. I've never been in a conversation with me and some guy just duel jokes at each other during a holiday Christmas party. That has never happened in my entire, so I don't like, that's my issue. I think the dialogue with newer movies. And it's just slow down, you know? Everything's so fast. Slow down. I know everyone's brains are phones, but mine's like, all right, why don't we calm down? You ever put on an old movie? It takes like 9 hours for the intro to finish. It's like, it'll be just helicopter footage of the city of Los Angeles for like legitimately 45 minutes. 45 minutes, you're like, oh, we've already seen that building. And they'll circle the entire building twice. The sun will rise and set, and it's still circling. And that's how much patience they had back in the day. They're just eating popcorn. It was a pretty good movie. I got nothing but time. But I see why the casting's different, because I never watched any of the Dirty Harry movies. You know, Clint Eastwood, never watched any of those. I'm like, I don't know why. You always hear the clips. Why do I know, make my game, punk? Why do I know that catchphrase, but I haven't seen the movie, so I watched one of them. I didn't know there was like 20 of them. They have a bunch, so I watched Sudden Impact. That's the one I watched. Came out in 1983. Intro took 4.5 hours. I loved it. Just wide scenes. Like extra, like he'll get out of the car, close the door, put change in the meter, like double checks the lock. Like you see everything. Everything that gets edited out now, they're like, no, his shoelace is untied. Let's get that. Winks at a waitress. Like, there's so many things that just cut through in movies now. And they left them all in. But yeah, Dirty Harry is not a good person. He would be a cop that there would be protests about. All the bad guys in the movie are not white. They're either black or Hispanic. And you're like, oh, I get it now. You know, I get why, like, the new casting. You're like, let's mix that up a little bit. That's looking a little, all the heroes are very white. And you're just like, nah, we're just trying to get things done. I don't know. I love doing comedy. It's my favorite thing to do.
When I'm not doing comedy, I don't really do anything except hang out. I love sports. I'm a sports guy. Got any sports people in here? You a sports fella? Yeah. What's your favorite sport?
Football.
You like football? Yeah. I just Is that Raiders?
Hey, baby!
Oh, that's my buddy Eddie. All right, yeah. I used to work with that man. We sold velour tracksuits together off of Sepulveda. I used to live here back in 2007, 2008, 2009, and the one good friend I made was Eddie. And thank you, buddy. Yeah. I got hired. I remember this. I remember that I was working at Sears Automotive changing oil over on 4th and Colorado in Santa Monica. That's a condo now. But back in 2007, they had a mechanic shop there, Sears Automotive. And did you know that they hire mechanics without experience? Yeah, I got hired, and I don't know anything about cars. And they had a Craigslist ad said no experience necessary, and I'm like, that's me. I was 21, I had 0 experience, and they trained me for 2 weeks. I was on a computer, and I would just skip through the tutorials, because I'm like, it's boring. I didn't even compute what this means. And then after 2 weeks, they're like, oh, you finished? Yeah, get out there. Start working on the cars, and I was like, oh, damn. I did not pay attention to that. I kind of treated them like, the safety and sexual harassment videos they show you when you start a new job. You're like, I get it. Don't be a creep, I understand. But this was about changing oil and tires and batteries. This was important stuff, and I did nothing. And I worked there for about a month, and I was so bad at it. One time I changed the differential oil, which I didn't even know what that was. I learned that day what that was. It was an Escalade, and Escalade had more stuff under there than the other cars that I was used to. And I'm like, that looks like the oil pan, and I opened it, and I'm like, that doesn't look like oil. It doesn't smell like oil. Then I called this other guy over, Rich. He just had gold in his mouth. He had no original teeth, and so that's how you knew he knew stuff. And I was like, Rich, what did I do here? And he goes, oh, that's the differential. You fucked up. I'm like, that's what he said. Those were his exact words. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, I'm guessing that's more expensive than oil? He's like, that's the most expensive fluid. I was like, well, it's in the thing now. And they still didn't fire me. They just kept me around. And then I saw a job interview for Sweatcedo. It was a velour tracksuit company, and it was close to my house, and they were paying $12 an hour, which at Sears Automotive I was only making $9, and I'd never made $12 an hour before. That was the most amount of money I was ever going to make per hour. Until Comedy Now. Like, Comedy Now, I make more than $12 an hour, but even Comedy then, it wasn't $12 an hour. It was chicken wings. I got paid in chicken wings. So, $12 an hour, I was like, I gotta get this job. And the dude, Rich, that runs it, he looked like Colonel Sanders. Like, he bleached his hair and his goatee. So I was interviewed by a guy dressed like Colonel Sanders wearing a loud velour tracksuit. And I'm like, I'm not getting this job. And then he goes, your name's really Zoltan? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I want a Zoltan to work here. And I got the job. That's amazing. I love Hollywood. This is so good. You just get here on looks and name alone, And he told me, he's like, I only hired you because of your name. Like, that's amazing. I'm running a velour tracksuit company. We can't have a Gary back there. We got a Zoltan back there. So I worked in the back with Eddie, and Eddie would customize the velour tracksuits for names and stuff, and I would pack the orders. And I was so bad at all of it, man. There's so many times where I put the wrong tracksuits in the wrong boxes and they got mailed to the wrong people. I'm just bad at work. Like I tell people all the time, this is the only thing I've ever been even kind of good at. And people are always like, no, you have more to offer. And then I tell them some of these stories and they're like, yeah, stick with this, man. You can do it, dude. Like, I believe in you, But yeah, that was good times working at the velour tracksuit company. They're doing good. Okay. That was the end of that story. Very much enjoyed it. Never good at any of my jobs. They would keep me around because I was funny. Like, I worked at a medical supply warehouse in Orange County, and I remember one time I turned 21 and I wanted to go to Vegas to celebrate my 21st birthday, so I scheduled the trip 6 months in advance. And then, like a month before my trip, they're like, we're having a mandatory inventory on that Friday that I was supposed to leave. And I told my manager, I was like, dude, I already booked the hotel. It's my 21st birthday. I'm going to Vegas with my friends. He's like, it's a mandatory inventory. You have to be there. And I was just like, I had a moment of self-righteousness. I'm like, I ain't coming. I'm only turning 21 once, and I'm staying at the Stratosphere Hotel. I'm going to go have a great time in Las Vegas. And so I didn't go. And then I came back that Monday, and my buddy Robert that was working there, he's a good buddy of mine, he got called into the office, and they fired him. And he came by, and he's like, I got fired. And he said goodbye to everyone that left. And I go, what'd you do? And he goes, I was an hour late to inventory. And they fired him. And I was like, I didn't show up at all. And then for the rest of that day, I was just waiting to get fired. I was just waiting. I'm like, maybe now. Maybe they're going to let me have lunch. And then they're going to fire me. Maybe after lunch, they'll fire me. And then they never fired me. And then the next day I came back, and then I'm just waiting, and I'm like, they're still not firing me. And then Wednesday, still nobody's firing me. And then one of the assistant managers I was good with, and I was like, hey man, you guys fired Robert. And they're like, yeah, he was an hour late to inventory. And then he goes, and then he realized, he goes, you didn't even show up? And I was like, shut up, dude. Like, I don't think people have noticed that I wasn't here. And he goes, I'll look into it. I'm like, not too hard, but just bring it up lightly, you know? And so the next time they had a big managers meeting, Jason Clark, this big dude, he was like the foreman of the whole warehouse, he brought it up. This dude brought it up, and he goes, hey man, you fired Robert for being late to inventory. Zoltan didn't even show up. And Jason goes, Zoltan? He's hilarious. We can't fire him. That was an exact quote. I remember I called my mom up and I told her that, and my mom's Hungarian communist, like blue-collar worker, and she was so sad to hear that I've been able to entertain my way into a job. Sometimes it's not good to be the best employee, just be the most likable, you know? Show up late, but make people laugh, and they're like, no, he's good for morale, you know? It makes people like being here. It's true. It's true. Like, if I had a company, this dude was 15 minutes late every day, but, like, he made people chuckle, he'd be like, all right. He's a good guy. He's also saving us money. We don't have to pay him for that 15 minutes. I actually said that to my manager once. He goes, Zoltan, you've been 15 minutes late every day for 2 weeks. And I go, yeah, but I'm clocking in then, too, so I'm still getting the same amount of work done, and I'm saving you guys, like, how much time a week? And he goes, just show up on time. Solid points, man. I just don't have the work ethic. My mom, she has the work ethic. My mom's communist, Hungarian. And I got a job. The proudest she ever was of me was in high school. I quit the football team to get a job as a waiter at a retirement home. And she was so proud of me. She's like, oh, my boy is going to work. Oh, her heart was so full. I'd bring home like an A on a test, and she'd be like, that's nice. But when I got a job, she almost cried. She's like, my boy is going to go to work. Oh. And then I came home after that first week, and I'm like, I hate my job. And she goes, Zoli, just think about your paycheck. And I'm like, that ain't helping. It's not doing anything for me. She's like, that's what you have to just think about your paycheck. And I'm like, I just didn't have that mentality. I've never been motivated by money. I think that's why comedy was so lucrative to me. It was so enticing. They're like, there's no money over here, come on over. I'm like, hell yeah. You have me there, man. You guys are a good group, man. I really appreciate you coming out to this show. You know, it's Friday the 13th. You walked up, you saw the building, you saw the clientele, and you walked in, and I appreciate that. There's plenty of times, man, especially in this city, there's plenty of times when no one would come to see me, you know? This is new, man, I appreciate that. I remember I used to do bringer shows at the Comedy Store when I was working at the Santa Monica Sears Automotive. I used to do bringer shows, and what a bringer show is they let you go on stage if you bring people to the show. And I didn't know anybody. Like one time I had my mom drive up from San Diego and going, "You gotta come up, otherwise they won't let me perform at the Comedy Store." So she drove up and sat through an entire show, and then they put me on at the end because I only brought one person. And she was like the only one left in the audience. And she still laughed. She was like, she's so damn supportive, you know? And I remember one time I was at the mechanic shop, I was doing oil changes, and I was trying to get over to the show at the Comedy Store, the bringer show. And I showed up, and no one was there to see me, and the horrible person that was running the show was like, "Well, you don't get to go on stage because no one came to see you." So I ran outside, and I just like was begging people to come in. And this one guy was just walking by himself down the Sunset Strip. I'm like, "Excuse me, do you want to come in and see the show?" And he was like a Norwegian tourist or something. And he was like, "What?" I don't know, I can't do accents, but you know what these people sound like. "What? Working, dorking?" I don't know. You know, you get it, right? I'm not an accent guy. That's not why you came, okay? You weren't like, "Oh, this guy's accents are through the roof." No. He's over there in lederhosen and suspenders. Working, dorking. Stroganoff or whatever he said. And I was like, "Excuse me, can you please come into the club so I can go perform? They won't let me perform if I don't get someone in there." And he was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I'll buy your ticket and I'll buy your 2 drinks. Just come on in." And then he came in, I had to buy him a ticket and 2 drinks, so that's $30 out the door. And to go on stage in front of pretty much him and like 4 other people. And at the end, he was like, "That was great, working, dorking." And like, so that's my relationship with the city, is oil changes and velour tracksuits and Eddie and a Norwegian tourist that came in to see my show. So for the fact that 50 people showed up, I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Man, you guys are great. It means a lot. I'm gonna wrap up with just a couple more jokes, and then we'll go to Chick-fil-A or something. Or I don't know, whatever's nearby. Oh, with shots? Eddie, you have not changed. This is who you were back then. I love it. Let's get some shots. He used to smoke weed at work while working on the velour tracksuits. He had me do it once. He's like, "You do it." And then I couldn't work. I just stared at a wall. I'm like, "You gotta pack these boxes, man." And that guy didn't fire me because he's like, "I gotta have the Zoltan in my velour tracksuit." You know? What a wild ride.